Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you around the world, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you. And here we are, it's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m. and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and we're coming to you live from New York City. And welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live. This is a show we broadcast every Friday. We're here for you. And of course, this show is dedicated to you. It's part of you. It is you, because what we want you to do is join us. You can talk to us live. All you have to do is just type in whatever you want to say. And I'll see you right there on the big screen. And we're going to be here for the next hour. That's the purpose of the show. As I throw out a conversation, you can chime in at any time. You can interact with others. They're right here. You'll be here. You can talk to other friends, have people you haven't seen in a while that were here, that weren't here before. Everybody's going to be here, and we want you part of the action too. And just so you know, you can be here for the first time, but you can be here every week. Don't make it your last time, because what you can do right now is, if you're watching us on Facebook, because we're coming from 3 different places. We're coming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram as well. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, we're all around the world, no matter where you are. You can tag your friends right now. Tag your friends right now as we speak, because the show is just starting. Bring them in. They'll be part of you. They can talk to you. You can talk to them. They can talk to others. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we advise you to tune in and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's right, because when you do that, you'll get the opportunity of every time we broadcast something live, or if we just as much as post something, like a video or something, you will get notification. And it's right there. And that's the benefit of being part of the act here. Now, if you're watching us on Instagram, just follow us like you do each week. There's a lot of people there. We want to say hi to people on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you guys so much for being along with us. And it's right here. Later on in the program, not too far away, within this half hour, Brian Camp will be here chiming in from, he's coming in from North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where he's coming from. You'll see him live right here. And he's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports. The name of his show is called Sports Update. And maybe I'll throw in the Yankees. I don't know what happened to them today. I don't know what happened. I do know I was watching the game today, and I had to leave the game for some point because I had to hit the road. And of course, when I got back, got on the computer, as a matter of fact, when I got here, I got on the computer to check to see what the final score was. Now, when I left my apartment, the score was 5-3, I believe, 5-3, and it was in late innings, almost at the end of the game. Baltimore must have put up a big fight, because the final score in that game was 9-6, Baltimore. I don't know where I was. If you blink an eye, something will happen. So that's what happened today. So those of you who are Yankee fans, that's what happened. I didn't see it in real time. I just checked the stats, and there it was. But you know, we can't complain too much, because the Yankees right now, they're in first place in the American League East, and they're going to be that way for a long time. So I'm pulling for them, because who knows, we may wind up playing baseball in October, which means the World Series. I'm also going to root for the Mets too, because I hear they're doing pretty well. And maybe we can get a World Series with both New York teams in it. That would generate a lot of money for the city, that's for sure. Anyway, Brian will be here. We'll talk about that, and he'll talk about other sports actions. He'll talk all about that. That's going to be here, and that's coming up pretty soon, right in this particular hour, right in this half hour, just minutes away, coming to you. Later on in the program also, I have those classic movies that you enjoy from Turner Classic Movies, my picks of the week, because I would like to bring those to you each week to add to your list of what to do for the weekend. And if you're in the mood for catching up on more old movies, I want to present those to you. That's coming along too. Also, we have This Day in History. We'll bring all of that to you. and it's you and I against the world right here. And we're coming to you live in New York. And the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. Summer's almost here, right? I can't believe it. The summer is almost here. And I'm going to tell you something. When I woke up this morning, we were drenched in rain. And then, you know, it kind of subsided, and then the sun broke out later on in the late afternoon. And but that's okay. We got through the day. Now we're going to get our first taste of summer weather. Although summer is not officially here yet, but we're going to get the first taste of summer weather Saturday. Would you believe that? It's going to be a nice day tomorrow too. But Saturday, we are going to get our first big heat. We're going to be in the 90s. Would you believe that? We're going to be in the low 90s, around 93 degrees, something like that. Now, they didn't say anything about humidity. We're not looking forward to that. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're going to get a little summer weather. And I'm looking forward to that. Saturday, it's going to be nice. And if you're living in New York, you understand the sound of my voice, you can make plans to do some outdoor things. You run, you jog, you do whatever you want to do outdoors, you know, but do everything in stride, take it easy. Don't forget, we're still in the pandemic stage. And of course, you want to make sure that you take care of yourself in that department as well. If you're going inside, going indoors, any place, coffee shops, bars, restaurants, anything like that, make sure that you mask up, because now, you know, things are getting a little on the upswing of things as far as the virus is concerned here in New York. Anyway, it's you know, they're really it's like an emergency almost. You know, they're not shutting down anything at this particular time. That's good news, but they are asking you to be on the alert. Please take the buses, the subways. If you're flying, mask up. It's very important. So there you go. But the summer, oh man, I just can't wait. A lot of people are going to be going on vacation too. They're going to be doing this. They're going to be doing that. And it's going to be a fun summer. I have a feeling it's going to be a fun summer. And even though we'll be under the pandemic, if you play your cards right, you do the right thing, you won't even know it. You won't even know it. The parks, people are out in the parks doing a lot of things. So it's all there. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining us for this Thursday night. It is Thursday night. It could be Friday morning. It's Friday morning to some people around the world. I know in China, in Japan, over there in London, they're in the overnight stage right now. It's after 1 o'clock in the morning in London. But a lot of you people are doing different things. That's why when I sign on, I always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night, because all around the clock, there's some place, someone is arising, someone is sleeping, and someone is just coming home from work, someone is just having dinner, someone is having lunch. That's the way it goes. So we want to greet all of you people, whatever you're doing. If you're at work right now, you're at your computer, you know, you're taking your coffee break, take your coffee break with us. They used to have what they called that 15-minute coffee break years ago when I was working in the corporate world. You know, back in those days, you know, in the office, you could hear the guy ring his little bell and the coffee wagon is outside, and you can get your coffee, you can get your buttered rolls, your cream cheese roll, or whatever it is. And 15 minutes you took, you know. I don't know if they don't do that anymore, right? No, they don't have the guy ringing anymore. Those are good days though. Those are the days of the automats too. Remember the automats? You have no idea. Those of you who are younger, you don't know how, you have no idea what fun it was in the early days. You have no idea. Now, we may not have been technology savvy like we are today. We didn't have computers back then. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have anything like that. And if you wanted to talk to someone, you couldn't hide behind an email. You know, you had to call them up. And I mean, like even in the early days of the telephone, they didn't even have answering machines. Remember, they used to have answering machines too, but they call it voicemail now. It's all built in when you buy your phone. But they used to have what they call answering machines. You had your telephone and you hook the box up near the telephone. Well, times have come a long way. And then and the answering machine was always taped with cassette tapes. You had one cassette that was a greeting message, and the other cassette took all the messages that came in. You know, times have changed. Times have changed. I wonder if anyone still use the box anymore. I wonder if some, you know, you can still use them if they're around. Some people may have them and still use them. You can still use them, you know, and yeah, the answering machines, they were something else. It was something else, and you press the button, you listen to it, then you rewind it. Today, it comes on your telephone, and if you want to delete, boop, that was it. Just as simple as that. Technology is getting better, but anyway, we didn't have all of that back in those days, but we did have fun back in those days. And I'd like to talk more about that as we go along. Right now, it's 10 minutes coming up to 11 minutes past the hour right here on Talkback Live. And some people are just coming in, so I just want to say hi to you guys. And if you have anything to say, please feel free. We would love to talk to you. We'd love to say hi to you, wave to you, say hi. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook Live, right there, you can chime in right now. If you're watching on YouTube as well and Instagram as well, just type in, I'll see you. I'll see you, and I'll greet you too, you know. And if you have any questions and any kind of questions, and you don't want to talk about it here, I have information for you. If you have any questions, you want to communicate with me personally, you can do that. Now, some people are shy about doing the live thing. I get that. I get that. Because a lot of people, they don't want to go on live, or they don't want to talk live. Some people are nervous about it, you know, whatever it is, but you don't really have to be nervous here. But some people are like that, and that's okay, and I understand that. And some people just like to sit there idle and watch the show. That's okay, we can do that. But if you prefer to get in contact with me personally without all of that, well, I have some information for you. If you're watching me on Facebook right now, look up there. You see my little picture, that little circle right there. Well, underneath all of that, you have information. You see all of that information right there. Part of the information is my email address and my telephone numbers right there. Okay, now for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, I'm going to have to give it to you verbally because it's not posted up there where you can see it. But if you have any questions about the show, or you just want to even say hi, that's all. Even if you just want to say hi, or I saw the show was good, the show was bad, or whatever it is. All you have to do is you can communicate with me through email or the telephone number. I'll give you the email address first. The email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Frank Allan, remember to spell Allan, A-L-L-A-N, or you'll never get through. Frank Allan Prod, Prod is P-R-O-D, that stands for productions. That's short for productions, right? Frank Allan Prod@aol.com. Again, that's Frank Allan Prod@aol.com. If you prefer to call, you can call and leave a message. Cool. Call us. Number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Again, that's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Here you go, extension 647-134. And leave your message, voicemail, email, whatever, we'll get it. Someone will get back to you if you're calling. And we'll do the best we can to answer your questions. And we'll even say hi back. And again, you could like us on Facebook too. We have a Facebook page. You can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter page too. Follow us on Twitter. And just be part of us. Just be part of us. It's now 13 minutes past the hour, coming up 14 minutes past the hour right now. Okay, you know, while I'm at it, I just want to, you know, just mention we still have that war going on in Ukraine and Russia. So we just want to make mention of that as well, because that's a bad thing. That's what's happening there right now. And we're hoping that who's ever left there, we want them to be safe. A lot of people have left, crossed the border, went over to the other side to meet friends and family who are on the other side, to take care of them and their children. And the war just continues. It just keeps going on. So let's keep our prayers open for them. Okay, here's some good news on the music scene right here. The Country Music Hall of Fame has announced a new group of inductees for 2022. First one is rock and roll pioneer Jerry Lee Lewis, and he will be inducted in the veteran category. The neo-traditionalist Keith Whitley will join the Hall of Fame, will join the Hall in the modern category, and the former RCA Records executive will become a member in the non-performing category. So we would like to say congratulations, Jerry Lee Lewis, and to Keith Whitley, and to the RCA executive. We want to thank you. Thank you for your service in music. And Jerry Lee Lewis, of course, you know, he should have been in there a long time now. However, he did make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986, right? So he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and now he's an inductee into the Country Music Hall of Fame. So congratulations to all of you. Hey, guess what? Rihanna, you know, pop entertainer Rihanna, she's a mom now. Would you believe that? Pop, she's a mom now, pop entertainer Rihanna. And the father is ASAP, that's his name, ASAP Rocky. That's his stage name, ASAP Rocky. And that's the father. And Rocky and Rihanna, and well, they welcome a baby boy. It's a little baby boy. And she gave birth to the baby boy last Friday. And so they're at their home in Los Angeles, taking care of everything. And so congratulations to Rihanna and ASAP for that. You know, that's their first child together. So congratulations, guys, congratulations. And I was gonna say many, many more. But you know, sometimes you may not want to wish that on people. They may not want to hear that. Many, many more. You only say that with birthdays, right? You say that with birthdays. I don't know. Okay, it's time now to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, and Brian Camp does sports. He's over there right now with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Brian, you heard about my Yankees, right?
I heard about them losing today, but
yeah, and they were winning in the last innings, and they were almost finished with the game because I had to leave, you know, before, you know, the game was over. And I believe it was like somewhere at the bottom of the 8th or something like that. And they were winning 5-3. And I didn't check it until before I came on the air. I went online to Google it to find out what the score was. They wind up beating the Yankees 9-6.
Yeah. I saw the score. I didn't get a chance to see it because I believe it was an afternoon game. I believe it was. Yeah. It was an evening game. Yeah, it was an afternoon game. Right?
Some of it. But you know, I can't complain because they're still in first place in the American League East. So that's saying plenty. So
they're getting off to a wonderful start. Yeah. So them and the Mets. Actually, the Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Too, you know?
And I was saying it earlier before you came on that I'm hoping that the Mets keep up a pace because I'm going to root for the Mets for the National League, and because I want to see the World Series go on.
Or Subway Series.
Subway Series, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but we got some more New York Yankee news as I go along that you're not gonna like, but you know, I always had to dig dirt. You know, that's what I like to do is dig and find things. You know, that's what I like.
Dirt on the Yankees.
You know, on the Yankees, yeah, it's a Yankee thing, but you know, I got to dig something on about the evil empire, as they call it, because the Yankees is known as the evil empire back in the days of George Steinbrenner, where they buy championships. They don't build on championships with the farm, but they buy players. They give them money and everything. So, but I'll get to that in a second. Good evening to everyone out there. Hope all is well with everybody. It is a scorcher out here today, and even right now. It is 85 degrees out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was a beautiful day. The heat was here, and it's going to be hot this weekend too. We're going to be approaching 95 to 96, 97 degrees, and if you have your backyards, your plants, and your grass, you better water them. because who knows, they might be sometimes out here in the South, they have, they restrict you from using so much water where, it's not a water shortage, but they want to just, limit you to doing things like that. But let me get to the sports. In the WNBA, now Brittany Griner, the superb star player for women's basketball, they extended her detention for 10 more days, or maybe additional month. So they're gonna keep her there for a month. The US announced former Marine Trevor Reed was released from Russia custody via a prisoner swap after he had been detained for nearly 3 years. If you heard that before, there was a swap where they wanted to bring Mr. Reed home. He was in Russia for 3 years. His release immediately raised question about the other 2 US citizens detained in Russia, Paul Whelan, and of course, as I just said, Brittany Griner. So like I said, Russia has extended it for a month, which means her trial is coming up soon. Griner has been in detention for nearly 3 months. So it was back in late February, early March. So, it's been a while, so Russia is going to hold them. I don't know if it has anything to do with the war that's going out there against Ukraine. Russia is really been having a lot of their hands full with this war and the Ukraine citizens out there as they invade Ukraine. In the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks had canceled. Now, next 2 stories I want to talk about, it's sports related, but it's about domestic terrorists. So I'm going to get right to this. I might get a little political, but I'll try to keep it into sports, but it is connected to sports. The NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks had canceled a watch party for Game 7 of last week's game against the Boston Celtics after 21 people were injured in 3 separate shootings near an entertainment district in downtown Milwaukee at the end of the game of the team's Game 6 Eastern Conference semifinals loss on Friday night. And you're well aware that they had a shooting some time ago in Wisconsin. I'm not going to get into all the details, but it was wild and crazy. So, but my next story in the NFL. A day after 10 people were killed and 3 others injured in a shooting at a Buffalo supermarket, Buffalo Bills safety Micah Hyde is committing to donating a portion of the proceeds to his charity softball game to the families of the victims. Now, if you know that we had a shooting out in Buffalo, New York, upstate, where a man who dressed up in military gear shot up a supermarket in a predominantly Black neighborhood and killed 10 people. Many others were injured and hurt. Now back to Micah Hyde. He said that the long planned softball game was almost canceled due to the weekend's event of last weekend, but that he felt that it was important to bring the community together after such a tragedy and do something positive. So yeah, you have those 2 stories. It's political, it's domestic terrorism, and this is something that's not going to go away. You speak to some people on the left wing, speak to some people on the right wing, you know who they are, the Republicans and the Democrats. I just don't understand how can people just justify somebody being killed and make excuse for it. There's no place for white supremacy and domestic terrorism. That's my take on it. And I'll leave it like that. Continuing the NFL, last week, they had announced the schedule for football games, and they had some key games coming up for Thanksgiving on November 24th. As you know, every Thanksgiving there's always 3 games. Before in the past it was 2 games. Now there's 3 games now it's going to be. November 24th is going to be, the first game would be the Buffalo Bills will be at the Detroit Lions. That game is at 12:30. It'll be on CBS. Detroit It's been playing on Thanksgiving since, I believe, somebody told me back in the mid 50s, 40s, or 30s. They've been hosting. That's been like an annual thing with the Detroit Lions. The second game would be the New York Giants would be playing against my Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Remember that? That's America's team. The star in the helmet. Yes, Dallas Cowboys. And that game would be on 4:30 on Fox Network. And the third game would be the New England Patriots against Frank Allen's Minnesota Vikings with the horn, purple, they call them the Purple Eaters.
Yes.
And that game will be at 8:20 on NBC. So you got CBS, Fox, and NBC that will be handling that. Christmas Day, December 25th, you got the Green Bay Packers be at the Miami Dolphins. That'll be at 1 o'clock game. That'll be on Fox. And the second game would be the Denver Broncos. They'll be at the LA Rams. That's at 4:40. That's on CBS. And the last game would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be at the Arizona Cardinals. That game would be at 8:20 on NBC, the Peacock, as they call it. So this is for the first time we're going to have games on the same day for major sports of football and basketball. I'll come up with the games for next year as the new schedule come out in the summer months for the NBA. Now back to the story I tell you about the New York Yankees. New York Yankees pitcher Nestor Cortez deactivated his Twitter account after screenshots surfaced Sunday of tweets from a decade ago. A decade means 10 years or more, that included racial slurs. Yes, Cortez appeared to be quoting rap lyrics in at least some of the tweets, and he did not seem to be using the words to demean anyone directly. Cortez says he was 17 years old. This happened, as he said, it happened 10 years ago. He deactivated his Twitter account to clean his stuff up. So at least he tried to clean it up. But you know, whatever you've done in the past is going to catch up to you. As they said in the biblical terms, whatever is done in the dark shall come to light. And this is what happens. I don't know if he caught it in time or he had no choice but to come out and say what happened. This day in sports, May 19th, 1912, American League President Ban Johnson tells the Detroit Tigers, if they continue to protest of Ty Cobb's suspension, they will be banned from baseball. Okay, this has nothing to do with the 1919, that's Shoeless Jackson, I'm sorry. This is a separate incident. So they continue to protest. They was protesting back then, even in 1912. None of us was around, but yes, that's what happened. In 1929, cloudburst causes a stampede at Yankee Stadium, crushes 2 people to death. They died. It's a stampede of a dust cloud. 1935, the NFL adopts an annual college draft to begin in 1936. That's what we have now, the college draft. 1941, Germany occupies Holland, forbid bicycle taxis. Yes, 1941. I wasn't around, but that was the in the middle of the heat of World War II, where Germany was trying to take over the world with Adolf Hitler. 1960, San Francisco Giants, my team, Juan Marichal is the first National Leaguer hurler since 1900 to debut with a one-hitter. That's very impressive. 1962, Stan Musial breaks Honus Wagner's National League record with 3,431 hits. Sprinter Dute Chand come out as the Indians' first openly gay professional athlete. That was in 2019. And in 1921, New York Yankees pitcher Corey Kluber no-hits the Texas Rangers 2-0 at Globe Field, Arlington, Texas. And in birthdays, 1928, Dolph Shaves, a Hall of Famer basketball player, was born in New York City, New York, Manhattan. 1954, Rick Cerone, remember him, Rick Cerone? I remember when Rick Cerone used to play for the Yankees. every time he came up to the plate, they used to play a little Italian song, you know, to get him going and get the crowd going. But anyway, he's was born on this day, 1954, in Newark, New Jersey, and NBA player, former player. In 1976, Kevin Garnett was born in Greenville, South Carolina. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
When you were mentioning Juan Marichal, I could see him in the background, in your background.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, you see it right there with the high kick. Yes, Juan Marichal. Yes,
for that high kick. You know, people got to remember one thing. You talked about, you know, sending. You know, he did all of these from what 10 years ago. He posted something, and it came back and bit him in the butt, right? And people got to understand something. When you put something out there on the internet, whether you're tweeting, you're emailing, whatever you're doing on the internet, it's forever. Delete it. That doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
You know,
emails too.
They're forever. They're out there.
Yeah.
Airwaves. They're there. People see them. They take them out of the sky. And it's the same thing. The same thing with Twitter. And you know, we were talking about Twitter. Rick, that stays out there. It's out there forever. So I don't know, you know, why people continue to want to, you know, email or either tweet all of these racial things when it's going to come back. It's going to bite you right in the tail.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he did this when he was 17 years old. It was 10 years ago.
27.
You know, yeah, he's 27 now. So, I mean, maybe to give him some credit, he did deactivate it. He did try to clean it up, so he says. But you're right. Whatever you say is going to come back and bite you. And like I said before, whatever's done in the dark shall come to light. Yeah.
Well, you know, you better watch what you put out there. I'm not putting any more. I'm living proof of something coming back and biting you, even though my situation didn't go back there a long time, you know, even though it was nothing wrong with what I put out there, but that's Facebook. That's just Facebook. I don't know any other place that's going to do that. I don't know any other social media outlet that does that. That's Facebook. And now we have to deal with Twitter. I think now, what's his name? Allan, what's his last name?
Is that the guy that just bought it for what, $100 and something billion? I
heard that he called off the deal.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm glad he did call off the deal for personal reasons.
I'm glad they called it. Well, I don't know if he officially did, but he, the last time I looked back, they said that he's calling off the deal unless, and Twitter had to answer the question he had a question for Twitter. I don't know what the unless was, but if he calls off the deal, it wouldn't even bother me because I have a reason why they should call off that deal. If he calls off that deal, I have a reason why I'd be happy about it.
Yes, and I guess we read the same statement that he would activate a certain person back on Twitter. Yeah,
we don't need that.
We don't need that. No.
What they're trying to do right now in social media, they're trying to clean up social media. I mean, Facebook, you know, at least, you know, Facebook dumped them and said, you know, forget it. You're not coming back here. Facebook did it. Twitter did it. This guy wants to revert it. And I think there's a couple of other media, social media.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah. It's finished. But yeah, I don't care if he's got to, if he comes out of this deal, they say that he has to pay up $1 billion, $1 billion. That shouldn't be hard for him because he was gonna pay $44 billion anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
that's incredible. It just seemed like millions of dollars is nothing compared. I remember growing up when Howard Hughes was a millionaire. We thought, wow, that's a lot of money. Howard Hughes is a millionaire, and you know, a millionaire is like minimum wage to some of these here rich folks now. You know.
So what about tomorrow? What's happening?
I have to let you know. It's decision time when I wake up. I'll let you know. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like until I get there. I got a very busy weekend. I'll be in Georgia for the weekend for a graduation. Of course, I'll be cooking, of course. So, but one way or the other, you will see me or you will get my material as well. I'm going to try my best to do what I need to do to come on. I like coming on. I want everybody to see me.
Okay. All right. Let's hope that they see you tomorrow too.
Okay, then.
Have a good night. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports update. He's here every Thursday at this time, bringing you the latest developments, and that was called Sports Update. And of course, hopefully, if he's here tomorrow, it will be on the coffee hour for the 2020 feature. He does that. He does 20 past the hour, and the other part of the 2020 feature, 20 to the hour, will be DJ Pete. However, DJ Pete will not be here tomorrow. I got that. You know that for sure. He sent me his information, so I will be filling in for him. And if Brian doesn't show up, that means I'm going to be doing this all by myself. Yes, but he may show up. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed. It'll lighten the load for me. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and we're coming to you live from New York City. If you're just joining us for the first time, please don't make it your last time. Please make it your weekly habit as we get together each week and correspond with you. And if you have something to say, please, we don't mind. We love to hear from you. You can say it while we're here live. A lot of people out there sitting idle, and that's okay too. But we would love to hear from you. Love to hear from you. So thank you so much for being with us. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. On this day in history, in 1940, the French counterattack at Prome under the General Charles de Gaulle. Remember Charles de Gaulle? Okay. On this day in history, in 1958, South Pacific soundtrack album goes #1 and stays there for 31 weeks. On this day in history, in 1960, Allan Freed and 8 other disc jockeys accused of taking radio payola. Back in 1968, the 20th Emmy Awards, Get Smart, Mission Impossible, and Barbara Bain, they all won. Back in 1972, WMAV-TV, Channel 18 in Oxford, Mississippi, that's the PBS station, begins broadcasting. In 1975, the 27th Emmy Awards, that's Mary Tyler Moore, Robert Blake, and Jean Marsh, they win. In 1977, the film Smokey and the Bandits, starring Burt Reynolds and Sally Fields, and of course, Jackie Gleason 2, premieres in New York City. Back in 1979, In the Navy by the Village People hit #3. In 1982, Sophia Loren was jailed in Naples, Italy for tax evasion. Back in 1983 as well, Weird Al Yankovic gives live performance at the Wax Museum in Washington, D.C. Okay, in 1987, the first American Comedy Award goes to Johnny Carson and Betty White. In 1989, Sue Ellen, played by Linda Gray, made her first appearance on the TV show Dallas. In 1989, Do the Right Thing, directed by Spike Lee with Danny Aiello and Ozzie Davis, premieres at the Cannes Film Festival. In 1990, Elvis, the TV drama about the early life of Elvis Presley, last aired on ABC. In 1991, Buddy, the Buddy Holly story, closes at the Shubert Theater in New York City after 225 performances. And in 1992, Amy Fisher shoots Mary Jo Buttafuoco in the face in an altercation over her affair with her husband in Massapequa, New York. In 1992, Some Gave All, that's the name of it, Some Gave All debut album by Billy Ray Cyrus is released and made the Billboard Album of the Year in 1993. In 1995, the Emmy 22nd Daytime Award presentation, Susan Lucci loses for the 15th time. 1997, The Lost World, that's Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Jeff Goldblum and Julianne Moore that premiered in the United States. In 2006, Rock for the Rainforest benefit concert was held at Carnegie Hall in New York City. Performance included Sting, James Taylor, Billy Joel, Sheryl Crow, and Lenny Kravitz. Malcolm X was born on this day in 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. He passed away, he died February 21st, 1965 at the age of 39. I remember it so well. Of course, he was assassinated. That was on a Sunday too. Rock musician Pete Townsend is celebrating a birthday today. He was born 1945 on this day. He's 77 years old. He was born in London, England. Professional wrestler Andre the Giant was born on this day in 1946. He was born in Grenoble, France, and he passed away January 27, 1993 at the age of 46. They die young. He died from congestive heart failure. In 1948, Grace Jones, Jamaican-American disco singer and actress, was born in Spanish town, St. Catherine, Jamaica. She's 74 today. Happy birthday, Grace Jones, a very gracious lady too, I love her. Okay, in 1951, Joey Ramone, American punk rock singer and musician of the Ramones, passed away 2002. In 1959, Nicole Brown Simpson, that's the ex-wife O.J. Simpson, was born in Frankfurt, Germany, and she passed away in 1994. In 1970, U.S. Vice President Al Gore weds author Tipper Aitchison at the Washington National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. In 1979, Eric Clapton marries model and George Harrison's ex-wife, Patty Boyd, and they got divorced in 1989. In 1997, film and stage actor Matthew Broderick weds Sex and the City actress Sarah Jessica Parker in New York City. 2008, film actress Jessica Alba weds film and TV producer Cash Warren at the Beverly Hills Courthouse in Beverly Hills, California. In 2012, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, where have I heard his name before? He weds his longtime girlfriend, Priscilla Chan, at a small ceremony in Palo Alto, California. And 2018, American actress Meghan Markle. Okay, we know who she is. Meghan Markle marries Prince Harry at a ceremony at the Windsor Castle, England. And they're both in America now and they want to live a normal life. So let it be. Actor Ronald Colman died on this day in 1958 at the age of 67. He died from acute emphysema. He was born February 9th, 1891, and he was born in Richmond, England in the UK. In 1967, Elmo Hope, American bebop jazz pianist, composer, and arranger, dies of a heart failure and he died at the age of 43. In 1969, Coleman Hawkins, the American jazz musician who virtually created tenor saxophone for jazz, he dies at the age of 64. Jacqueline Onassis died on this day in history in 1994 at the age of 64 from cancer. She was born July 28th, 1929, and she was born in Southampton, New York. And finally, 2004, actor Tony Randall dies at the age of 84. And so there you have it. All of the things that are happening on this day in history, we just gave them to you. Now, if you know anything that's happening that I didn't say and you happen to know off the top of your head, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Just type it in there. I will see you on the big screen and we will acknowledge that. And of course, we will acknowledge anything that, let's say, for instance, you want to talk about, anything. So if you want to do that, that would be great. Okay. It's now 16 minutes to the hour. And the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allen. We're coming to you live from New York. That's where we come, New York City. And I'm going to tell you something. New York City is going to get their first taste of summer. I mentioned that at the top of the show. We're going to get our first taste of summer. Would you believe it? Now, people, I hate to think what people are going to do for that day, you know? Now, please still dress accordingly, but I don't say wear a jacket if it's going to be, because it's going to be around 93 degrees or something. So, you know, you could, it's no jackets, no jackets. Don't dress warm, don't dress light enough. In other words, don't wear a string bikini in the street. How about that? All right, don't do that. All right. Besides, that's for the beach anyway. But I do imagine a lot of people are going to the beach, so you wear your string bikini under your clothes, and when you hit the beach, you strip to string bikini. And there are going to be a lot of people doing that. And people are going to be hitting the beaches, Coney Island Beach, Orchard Beach in the Bronx, and Long Island Beach in Long Island. All of the beaches, they're going to be packed. So people are getting set. I know I can imagine right now, tomorrow, after work, people are going to hit the supermarkets and load up on all the food and the beer and the wines and all of that, so they can have it right there on the beach. Sit back and relax. Listen, you deserve it. That's New York. Brian said it's warm out there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's going to go away for the weekend. See people leaving. People going, if they're not staying home, they're leaving on the weekends. People are doing a lot of things. So, and I can imagine Coney Island. I remember we did a couple of broadcasts in Coney Island on the boardwalk. I remember we used to do that. We did it a couple of times. It wasn't a regular thing. We did it like periodically. And boy, it would be fun to do that again. I don't know if we're able or if we have the time to do it right now, but that would be fun to do something. And I also remember when we used to do the live broadcast every Friday. And we used to do it live, right? From two different places. In the summertime, we used to be outdoors. And it used to be a place called Cafe Central, which is no longer in existence. But I do know they're starting to set up tables and chairs out there, because it's going to be something else. And they got like like an outdoor bar out there now, set up, all set. They got the table set up, but they didn't put the chairs under the table. So I don't know what their policy would be if we were able to do that, or broadcast with them again. But I do know, we can, if we were able to do that again, we would definitely do it from urban space, because now urban space in the summer have an outdoor area, so you could sit out there in the summer. We can do that. And in the wintertime, go inside, so we got the best of both worlds. Now, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if I would love to do that again, a live for people passing by, people talking to us. And I had a good time doing that. All right. We'll put that on the back burner for now. But when we do it, we won't lose any kind of any part of the programming when we do it, because we still have the opportunity of getting a live Brian on live still, DJ Pete still live, and we still do our show the regular way. It's just that we'll do it outdoors. People will watch us, people will see us, and we might even some people have the tendency, they like to be on camera and they can wave, and they're right behind you and they wave that. I don't mind. We'll see. We'll take that in consideration. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, it's coming up to, it's 12 minutes to the hour right now. And there we go. And I see people starting to come in. And I just want to say hi to all of you guys who are watching us on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram. So I just want to say hi, wave to you guys. Thank you so much for your patronage, for being with us and allowing us to come to your homes, your workplace. Before you go to bed, you may be having dinner right now. You may be having lunch right now. You may be on your way back home from work. Maybe you're on your way to work. Maybe you're pulling the graveyard shift, or you're going to sleep in all night. I don't know. We're all around. Someone is doing something. And it's good to know that we're right here with you doing it. We want to be part of it. Okay, that's the way it goes. All right. Okay. We want to tell you, I think this is the time to do it. We should do it right now. We have all of the movies that we talk about all the time, right? Now, I know this is going to be one of those weekends in New York. Now, I don't know about for the rest of you because everyone is experiencing something different weather-wise. And so you have your options, but whatever your options are, I just want to relate all of this to you because these are my picks of the week for the weekend. And we add it to you because we want you to add it to your to-do list, or your, as they would say, your bucket list. And if you want to catch up on movies, you may be in a place where you may not have the good weather. And so, you know, you're stuck inside the house all weekend. I hate that. Don't you hate that? I hate that. But nevertheless, it does happen. And even if you just want to catch these movies, even if it's a good day, you just want to catch these movies first and then do whatever later, you know, I have them for you. And I want to remind you that all the movies that I give you, they never overlap each other. So you can watch each movie in its fullness. Okay. And you can watch right now. As a matter of fact, here we go. Now, here's something we'll start off with. This is a movie called Strangers on a Train, back in 1951, starring Robert Walker and Folly Granger. It's a great movie. I saw the movie. It's a nice black and white film, 1951. And you can catch it on Turner Classic Movies Saturday at 4:15 p.m. All right. That's called Strangers on a Train. And that's coming up. Check it out. Here's another classic back in 1945 with Joan Crawford called Mildred Pierce. It's a classic. Everybody saw it's a great movie too. All of her movies are great. And that's on Turner Classic Movie. This one is on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford. It's coming up. And if you're into musicals, here we go. Gypsy. Gypsy from 1962, starring Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood. I love this. There's a soundtrack on that one too. I used to have the original soundtrack. I don't know what happened to it. It was on the regular wax LP 33, Speed 33 LP. Anyway, this comes on Turner Classic Movies on Sunday night at 10 p.m. And I think that's directly after Mildred Pierce, right? So that's Gypsy, 1962 with Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood. And that's Turner Classic Movies at 10 p.m. Eastern. And so those are my picks of the week. They're just my picks. You know, there are others out there that if you want to go to Turner Classic Movie, go there right now and you can, well, after the show, go there and scroll through the program guide and you can see there are more movies that you can check out. Movies that you may say, oh, he didn't mention this one. Again, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that these are my picks of the week. And that's why I always recommend that even after I give you these movies, to go on Turner Classic Movies and scroll through the program guide and check it out, and you'll see other movies that you may like, okay? And they're right there for you. Also, you could also go on Movie on Demand. Movie on Demand, you can catch all of those great movies. Now, you have movies that date back to 1930s and 40s and the 50s and the 60s and so forth and so on. There's a whole list of movies, all in alphabetical order. You can check them out. Movies you haven't seen in a long time. Movies that you've seen before, but you want to see it again. Movies you see, have you had any movies that you have seen and you can see 1,000 times more and not get tired of it? Well, those movies are available. They're right there. Check them out. Now, if you miss some of these movies, what they do, they recycle them. They come back. They come back. They do. They come back. But they recycle them and just for your convenience. And you could watch them. And you also have the pay-per-view movies. You know, you could watch the movies of the day, the movies that are happening now, movies in theaters. You can't make the theater. You don't want to make the theater. You could watch from the comfort of your own home. All you have to do is just throw the popcorn in the old microwave, pop, 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 and you've got yourself a great movie. And you could sit by to whoever you want to sit next to, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, you know, your little dog, and just watch these movies. They're great. So there you go. Also, you can go to some of the networks. They have the networks like Lifetime Movies. They have whatever is available there. You can watch there too as well. Sports, you like sports? Of course you do. This is a sports outlet here. Everybody likes sports, right? So you go to the sport, not everyone, but for those of you who like sports, if you miss an event, you could always go back the following day, depending on what network it's on. And you could watch it on the rerun. They're right there, And like I like wrestling. If I miss a match, depending on what network it's on, I can go back to that network and go on demand and check it out, watch it again. You can do that over and over again. And of course, you have some of the sitcoms that you may like. You want to watch some of those on the networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, all kinds of this, CNN stuff. You got stuff for CNN and Fox News and all of those things. Listen, it's something for everyone. They don't discriminate. Everyone gets a piece of the action. So all you have to do is just go there and check it out. So let me go again and tell you about these movies again. This is called, we'll do it all over again. These are my picks of the week. Strangers on a Train, Robert Walker. That's Robert Walker and Farley Granger. That comes on Saturday at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And following that, Gypsy with Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood. That's Sunday at 10 p.m. all on Turner Classic Movies. And as I said before, these movies do not overlap. You can watch each and every one of them that I gave to you. Simple as that. They're right there. So watch them. And as they used to say years and years ago, you'll be glad you did. You'll thank me. It was a funny thing too. Last night, you know when you find the best programs. Well, sometimes, not all the time, because you could channel surf until you're blue in the finger, and you won't find anything. But sometimes you luck up and you find something. Now, last night, I was watching the Yankee game, and they won last night. I was watching the Yankee game, and after the Yankee game was over, I said, okay, I think I'll stay up a little while longer. And some channel surfing I'm going through, and all of a sudden, I go to Turner Classic. And what was on Turner Classic movie? And I caught it just in time. I missed a couple of minutes of it. Maybe I missed about 7 minutes of it. It was 7 minutes into the program. White Heat with James Cagney. And so I had to stop right there. Now, White Heat, I've seen like 1,000 times before, a billion, zillion times before. When I was a kid, I watched it. I watched it today, and I watched it last night. You can watch something for so long till you actually know the dialogue of the movies, and you could recite along with them as they speak, especially some of the classic stuff. Like, let's say, for instance, James Cagney has this way of calling the guy a copper, that copper. And he says, a copper. I was going to split 50-50 with a copper. Anyway, that was I enjoy that movie so much. Now, those of you who know that movie, realize one thing. You may not realize it. Hi, Kevin. How you doing? Kevin Briscoe's out there, and he's at work. So I just want to say hello to Kevin Briscoe. Kevin Briscoe is a good friend of mine. We worked together years ago at a radio station. He's a radio guy. He refuses to retire, so he's still working at it. He's still going. That's his love. That's his bread and butter. That's what he does. So congratulations, Kevin. Thank you so much. He's at work now. Is anybody at work watching the show with you? Anybody? Hey, listen, is anybody I know still there? Because I would like to say hi to them. If anybody out there, if you're watching, Kevin, and you're at work now, you're at the radio and TV station, right? Anybody that I know that's still there, working there, I want to say hi to them. Okay. So anyway, I was getting ready to say that the James Cagney movie White Heat was one of those movies where it was an exciting movie. No, he says no. I don't know anybody there. Everybody that I knew at the particular time, they all left, right? Okay. Well, say hi to the newbies anyway. Okay. Going back to the James Cagney movie. Remember the sequence in the James Cagney movie when he said, when he caught that fit and he slammed the thing on the table, No one knew he was going to do that. Not the producers, not the actors. No one knew that. Fascinating. I would like to talk more about that, and maybe I will tomorrow on the coffee hour, because I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports, and DJ Pete with entertainment news. He won't be here, but I will cover for him. Other than that, I will be back here come next week, next Friday, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful one. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the weather that's all coming up. And again, meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Until then, have yourself a great morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host, Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistance, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce, and I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.